What's good, people? Spud here, and welcome to episode 35 of the Roundup. We're up to 35 episodes already. It's actually crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do when we hit that 50th episode. I've just got to say that. But it might be like a 50th special. It might be a special episode. Um, in this episode of the Roundup, we're going to be talking about JOEDECEIVES and Toronto Ultra with two very convincing 3-0 wins. But JOEDECEIVES breaking the KD record for this year, dropping over a 2 KD in their 3-0 win against OpTic Texas. We're going to, of course, be reviewing all the other matches this week, and we'll obviously be talking a bit about OpTic's situation again. I hate to talk about it, but, OpTic fans are going into series expecting to get slammed now, 3-0s, and they've got LA Thieves next week. We'll obviously be doing our predictions for next week's matches, the final week of qualifiers before the Major 2 tournament OpTic's event. What are they going to do? Will they win a map? And we'll also be doing our MVP of the week and our MVP ladder, which is now up to 10 people, and I've got it here. You won't see it, but I've got it so I can tell you the order. And then obviously we can talk about who's gone up and down. I mean, look, I've only started it the 6th to 10th when just before recording this, so I'm not going to talk about them, but there has been a change in the top 3. I know. So yeah, if you do enjoy this episode of the Roundup, please do like and subscribe if you're new. Every subscriber really helps. The support on the channel's been amazing recently, especially on the good old Lost Records. We've got over 300 views in the first 2 videos combined. We have another one coming out on Friday. No, Saturday. No, Friday. I haven't decided yet. I've got a Life is Strange 2 video and a Lost Records video. I have to decide which day I upload either one. That's something that I'll decide probably on Thursday, but they're all ready to be uploaded. Anyway, enough waffle from myself. Let's get straight into it. And obviously, we're going to start with the matches from this week, which was here. Is it going to work? Well, we're stuck. Not how we want this episode to start. We're going to have to give it a quick refresh. Right, maybe that's all it needed was just a refresh. Did that work? Where are we even up to? Ah, here we go. Right, did it work? Yes, it did. There we go. So, yeah, Surge here with a 3-0 win against the Thieves with a 3-0 win here against Surge. If we look at the stats, Hydra and Scrap, again, brilliant. Hydra's here now. Thieves are the best team in the game. Then it's FaZe and then everyone else. Yeah, Thieves look really good now. It was obviously around 11, but they were really good here. Envoy did have a bit of a rough series in the first respawn. Gorsey had a really good search and destroy. And Scrap just played well for the entire series. On the other side, obviously, Neptune did alright, the rest of them no. I'll show you the round 11 quickly before we move on to the next series.
It's 0-4's 5 straight, and Nasty's 2 in the last round that ended up being huge. Offense for Thieves, kind of back to your round 1 default. Plant in today. Now can Surge retake. Well, a 4's 5 in a row, leading to a streak. See if it turns into anything. What do you got for us? Well, he's able to wrap it in perfectly. Hydra to get picked early in the round. Scrap at least gets 1 for you. Scrap gets 2 for you. Scrap is taken over. 0-4 in trouble, but still up. Nice stun out, able to hit. He is between both players. Maybe trying to isolate him. For now, going to hold. Scrap working for the A side.
Yeah, that was a really good round from Thieves, especially because they were in a 2v3 situation, of course. But what I did like was their positioning on the map. So you had, obviously Scrap had already got 2. It made 0-4 stuck because there was someone on P1 hill. Really nice play there from Thieves. You can tell that they know how to play this game compared to some other teams that we're going to talk about very shortly. But yeah, that was honestly a really, really nice round 11 there from LA Thieves. Then we move to Ultra versus Falcons. Yes, Falcons, though, did absolutely dominate the red card, but look at the hard points. They haven't won a hard point or a series all year. They've broken the record for most series defeats in a row with 16. They haven't won one yet. If we look though, they played really well in the search, so credit to them for that. At least they can win a map compared to OpTic. But if we look at the stats here, I mean, CleanX, you know, he's having a very underrated season in my opinion, CleanX, because I don't think people are talking about him because he doesn't have a superstar on his team anymore. But yeah, he's playing really well this season. On the other side, as always, Xnid has the best KD. WXSL is terrible. Please, please make a change, Falcons. Please just get kicks. Just get kicks back. Surely it'll be alright soon, right? And then the Gentlemates, their run of horrific performances continue as they get absolutely slammed here by Cloud9. Sib, again, with a brilliant series. He's having a very good split, is Sib. Attach as well, playing pretty well there, so the ARs doing the job for Cloud9. On the other side, the ARs for Gentlemates are absolutely shit. The SMGs didn't do anything either. Yeah, please can they make a change? Like, Hugh is available. Just bring him in. Like, Gentlemates, we talked about on the Roundup Extra. We have got a new Roundup Extra coming out as well. That'll probably be out on Thursday, because I haven't actually recorded that yet. It's obviously just a 5-minute segment. This week's is going to be about OpTic, of course, and, you know, Kenny. So obviously, if you want to check that out, I will put the Roundup Extra link in the description of this video. And then we move on to, was this Saturday? Yeah, Saturday's matches. FaZe Rocker, hardpoint was good. Draz actually had a very rough series here, but they obviously got the job done. We're going to show you the end of this hardpoint because it was a really good hardpoint between FaZe and Rocker.
Here we go, folks. What a hard point this is shaping up to be. One good crack at this.
Yeah, can't take the zip line, can't take the outer route, but you can take the gunny. BZ drops one of the most important players, and the finesse is there to drop too.
Well, that just won them. Abizi just won them the map there. That was absolutely magnificent from Abizi.
Big plays when you need them. Abizi and Sib broke them down.
Break them down now through the front. The last players, and he's with the coverage upstairs. What an unbelievable turn.
And obviously Simp just got a 4-piece as well. Yeah, good series here though from the SMGs. Yeah, honestly, really impressed with FaZe. I think FaZe and Thieves are definitely the best two teams by far. But I do think that FaZe are beatable, whereas I don't think LA Thieves are beatable now. Like, I really don't. I might end up just predicting them to win every major now and champs and EWC. I just think they're the best team in the game. They're absolutely crazy. Anyway, our second match on the Saturday was Cloud9 New York versus the Carolina Ravens. Now, going into this series, I did have a feeling Cloud9 were going to pull it off, but they were unable to do so. Gwyn had an amazing series this time around, and this is why he's been in my top 5 for MVP for pretty much the entire season. You know, and I think I'll be shocked unless he has a massive drop-off now, because after Major 2, we're halfway through the season. The regular season, I would be shocked if Gwyn's not in my top 10 MVP for MVP by the end of the season. I can't see him dropping down that much. He's been absolutely superb. 108 kills in 4 maps is extraordinary. If we actually look at how many he got, I mean, he got 38, and he literally got 38 and 21 in both hardpoints, which ultimately won them the series. Cloud9 did manage to win the control, but obviously were unable to complete a reverse sweep. If we look here at the stats, I mean, Sib did okay. Obviously had the most damage on the team. On the other side, everyone did their job pretty much. Yeah, Vivid did obviously want a bit more kills. He wouldn't want to be in the red. But yeah, a good series here from the Carolina Royal Ravens. And, you know, they were my prediction for Dark Horse. Obviously, they got to a minor tournament final. They got to Champs Sunday Major 1. I think they've definitely been a Dark Horse. And my team with the least expectation was Gentlemates, who have been absolutely terrible. However, I did have OpTic finishing second at Champs. But that's a long way away. Anyway, to our next game on the Saturday, we had LA Thieves versus Boston Breach. I expected this to be a 3-0 or a 3-1 Breach. And it was a very comfortable 3-0 here. Hydra again and Scrap again. Scrap obviously had loads of damage, so I'd argue he should have been MVP. Even though Hydra did get the 4 extra kills to have a higher KD, I would argue that Scrap should have been MVP of this series. On the other side, yeah, Awakening got positive KD, everyone else struggled. Obviously we've talked about Cammy already in quite a few roundups now. Do I think that he will stay on the team? I think they'll give him till Major 2 if they get top 12 again. That'll be no wins on LAN. I think they might make a roster change. But yeah, everyone played well on the Thief side. But yeah, Scrap. I'm going to be honest, my MVP of the week is between Scrap Hydra and someone else that will obviously you'll probably know who that is. We're going to talk about that their last series when we get to it, of course. But yeah, Thieves look scary. I know they're only playing Boston, but then again, when we go to FaZe versus Boston series, that'll make a bit more sense. Anyway, we have to talk about OpTic's first game of this week. 3-0, absolute slammage. The worst hardpoint I've ever watched. 175 to 186. It was absolutely terrible. If we look at the stats here, do I have to? Yes, I do. Rencor, wow, Rookie of the Year, easily. There's no one even close to Rencor for Rookie of the Year at the moment because we haven't had really many rookies this season. Real had a good series as well. On the other side, Dashi played all right. Shotzzy did okay, but you can't win a map against anyone. If we look at map one, I mean, Pred point 7, Kenny point 8, Dashi and Shotzzy got the kills and the damage. You know, Kenny with an AR getting 2,900 damage in a hard point that lasted the whole time limit is not acceptable. Realistically, OpTic threw this one away. I think getting a map on the board could give them that confidence. They look terrible. I've also heard a lot of stuff about OpTic, which we're going to talk about after we've done our predictions. We're gonna go through the maps for the matches first, and then we'll do our predictions, and then we'll talk about OpTic, and then we'll do our MVP ladder. So then we have to start Sunday. We have Falcons, Gentlemates, and you know what? I thought, oh, Falcons might actually win a map or maybe two maps, but they absolutely threw the Protocol S&D. We're going to show you that after we looked at the stats. I mean, yeah, everyone played fine on the Gentlemate side. They got the job done. On the other side, Vixel again, terrible. Extend obviously went positive. King's okay. Dahum's terrible. I'm going to show you the round 11, though, for Gentlemates. Obviously, they'll be happy to pick up the CDL points, but Kataga, who's obviously the owner of Gentlemates, and everyone else will know this team is not making champs at the moment. There's not a chance that they make champs.
Door. Linz is here. Priest also top window. You also hear at RCXD is out on top of this. And Wixel, the bomb carrier, we've seen this before. Trying to play around B. Maybe he can come up from behind. One, but Priesta smokes him. Oh, not like this. LAG up 4-2 now. Yep, that's the round. Basically, the bomb carrier, the bomb's down in their trip window. To whom you know is going to take his sweet time to just try to at least find one kill. But every single player from LAG are roaming around 10. Has to go massive here if you're Dahum. Sees the door being popped. Lynn's in the corner. Decent shot, can't find the kill. Pistol out, able to secure it. Kismet looking for the trade right there with a little bit of help. Leaving King now by himself. Would have to be a 1v3. Stun checks over towards tower. Nothing there. And now here's the tough part. He collects the bomb. Semtex is behind to give him some space. Returning back to mid-map. It's a decent...
That was genuinely a winnable round, even at the 4v2 situation. That kill that Priest got on WXSL, yeah, that won them the map. Good job from P-Dog. But yeah, Gentlemates really need to sort this out and fast. Otherwise, they are going to be not making champs. And you know, we haven't really looked at the leaderboards this season. Yeah, but OpTic are now not in the top 8. I'm pretty sure they're not in the top 8. So at this moment in time, OpTic are not making champs after winning champs the year before, which is kind of crazy. Anyway, let's have a look at our next series. Now, this was in a highly anticipated series going into it. And even though they might not have had the statistics here the statistics might not have been on their side ultimately, but the Vancouver Surge take home another win, and they go 4-1 in this bracket. In this split, sorry. Obviously a slow start on that protocol hardpoint, but then they brought it back and it was pretty comfortable after that. Again, you know, Real Rencor played fine. I don't actually think... And Metals did alright. Metals was actually alright here, actually. I just looked at his damage. Lucky, yeah, he's not really been, like, an amazing player, Lucky, this year, but I don't think he should be losing his spot or anything, because he's, like, their in-game leader. 0-4 though had himself a series here, even though Neptune actually had the most damage in the lobby, dropped a .9, but the fact that he got the most damage, I would say he had a very good series because he helped his teammates. It's not like he got like 8.5k damage with those statistics. That's why I think damage is one of the most important statistics. I mean, ultimately, you've got to get the kills, really, because if you don't get the kills, you don't win the map. But I would rather a player dropped a .9 with 12k damage than a 1.0 and 9k damage and lost the series. But yeah, well done here to Surge. That's a very good win. And yeah, I think they needed that, after the Thieves game where they just got slammed 3-0. And talking of 3-0s, it's OpTic Texas again, as you'd expect. But we have to talk about this series if it loads. There we go. Absolute slammage. It could, honestly, OpTic were lucky to get to 100 points in the hard point. JOEDECEIVES got a 2.05 KD, and this was the best KD of the season so far. He went 86 and 42 in a 3-map series. On the other side, Kenny 0.6. We'll obviously talk about OpTic now and on the Roundup Extra. Pred and Dashi 0.7, Shotzzy 0.8. The only thing that I can say for Dashi, got a bit of damage. Kleenex and Insight played well. Beans actually had a bit of a rough series, but they got the job done. JOEDECEIVES went absolutely nuclear. If we actually look at Joe's maps, he got 48 and 25 on the hard point, 27 and 14 on the control, and 11 and 3 in the search. He was the best player in each map. It was an absolute mental series from JOEDECEIVES. OpTic were absolutely terrible though. They were absolutely terrible. They don't know the spawns. I don't understand the issue for them, but we're going to talk about that after the last match of the weekend and our predictions, because it's just easier to talk about that, and it's also better for the chapters because obviously some people might only want to hear my rant on OpTic and what has to happen. Look, I've been trying to be like coping with this OpTic roster, but we'll talk about it in a couple of minutes. Because first we have to talk about this series, Breach versus FaZe, because Breach were very close to winning this series and arguably would have if the Battle.net servers did not crash. If we have a look here, I think Cammy played a good series here, so did Awakening. On the other side, Celium 1.2, most damage. Jade might not have had as many kills as Abizi or Draza, but Celium was the best player of this series, and that's why he's my MVP at the moment. But we have to talk about map 5, which was on red card. First, we'll show you the finish for this map 4, because it was a very good finish and a brilliant break from Breach to get it into a map 5. We'll talk about that first.
FaZe, full control. Abizi with just a corner, and now they will sit pretty. Not a trophy in sight, but that's not going to be a problem. Wait, Cammy is in. Are we getting the damage? Are we getting the kills? Oh my goodness, the break! The game goes on.
These guys are just full sent. I mean, they're just sprinting. Draza trying to make a heads-up play here on the pinch. He's wanting to time this with his teammates for the game.
Yeah, look at this. Here we go. Lead change. One more break's all it's going to take. Purge with a sweet corner. All bases covered. That's the mid-map safe. Eyes towards the front. The contest is done. The lead has changed. Sim through side door. And we have got a game 5. Unbelievable. These.
Yeah, massive shout out to Purge on that. For that kill on Draza, because ultimately if Draza had got the kill, he could have easily got another, and then Breach are in a massive dilemma. But yeah, so Cammy starts off this round, this S&D, with 2 clutches, a 1v3 and a 1v1. Breach are 2-0 up, and then they're looking like they're going to win this, and then the servers crash, Battle.net goes down. So the Ronnie Intel, who's obviously, formerly known as CDL Scrim Intel, he was doing a 1k cup, and the servers went for them as well. So I had to wait a long time, and then we managed to get the series. They managed to get the series back up and running, and FaZe managed to take it. They had the ice at the end, but this was really harsh on Boston Breach because arguably the momentum was in their way before the servers crashed, and you would have said they would have probably won that map 5, but obviously that's just how the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. FaZe will be happy, obviously 10 CDL points and another win, which will give them a good place for the bracket, of course, because they don't want to be like 8th seed. They don't want to be playing Thieves. Thieves are going to be 1st seed. FaZe are probably going to be 2nd or 3rd seed. Depends really on how Surge and Cloud9, I think, do. And Ultra, but yeah, FaZe will probably get like a team that's maybe got 3 wins in the split. So obviously, like, they can't play OpTic. They'd love to, but they can't. Or Falcons or Gentlemates, because they're all going to be in losers, and I don't know who else will be. Could be Miami. Depends really on how next week's matches go. Rocker, Breach. Could be Breach, to be fair. Anyway, right, we're going to do our predictions for the final, qualifiers. So Ultra Surge is actually an amazing game to start the games off. Now, I don't know if this is a new thing, but on Sunday and now today on Friday as well, it looks like the matches are starting an hour earlier. So now 7 p.m. UK time, which is slightly better to be honest than 8. But Ultra Surge, I'm gonna go with Ultra 3-2. Obviously, this is a massive game because if Ultra get 4 and 3, obviously they'll be in winners, but there is definitely a chance that they play like a FaZe or maybe Surge in winners round 1. I'm going to go with Ultra though. I think they'll ice it up 3-2. LA Thieves versus OpTic, yeah, 3-0 Thieves. Everyone will play positive on Thieves, everyone will play negative on OpTic. No, the S&D might get close, like I'll go like 6-3, 6-4. Control and Hardpoint will be a breeze. Heretics Ravens, I'm going to go 3-1 Ravens. And then Saturday's matches, I don't know if they're doing it so it's because of like European people that they're making it an hour early. I don't know. But Saturday we have 4 matches. So we have Miami Heretics versus Boston Breach. I'm going to go with... Do you know what? I'm going to go with 3-1 to the Miami Heretics. I just think the ARs of Miami Heretics... I just think Rencor, it's basically Rencor versus Awakening in my opinion, and Real versus Snoopy, and I think Heretics will take this 3-1, putting Boston potentially in losers bracket. No, but there would be. Thieves versus Rocker, I'm going to go 3-1 Thieves. I think Rocker will take a map off LA Thieves here, but I think Thieves will get that 7-0, which OpTic had, didn't they? 7-0. Oh no, they went 6-1, sorry. 6-1. Not the point. Falcons, Ravens. Ravens are a good S&D team, so 3-0 Ravens. Gentlemates versus FaZe, 3-0 FaZe. Pretty simple, isn't it? Gentlemates versus OpTic. Oh, God. Right, well, this is a burger ball. This is a burger ball and a half here. Obviously, if Gentlemates go 1-6 and OpTic go 1-6, but they win this and Falcons go 0-7, OpTic would be 10th seed in the split. Obviously, the CDL points are important for OpTic, but... God. I actually don't know what to predict. I mean, I'm going to have to say it, aren't I? I'm going to go 3-1 Gentlemates. I can't see OpTic winning. I can't see them winning until they make a roster change. 3-1 Gentlemates. Rocker versus Surge will be a good series, but I'm going to go 3-1 Surge. And the final match of the online split before we go to the major, which obviously starts on the Thursday. It looks like they're at 7 p.m. as well. Cloud9 versus FaZe. I'm going to go with 3-1 to FaZe, but I think it'll be a close series. So there are my predictions for the final week of online qualifiers for Major 2. Now we need to talk about OpTic. We do. And we're going to start with this clip here from Nerdshot.
Is talking about, but it's by far and away the most bizarre situation that I've ever encountered in Call of Duty history. I don't think I'm like over exaggerating when I say that. What is happening right now, if you consider what they did in the first split online in first place, looking at points throughout the first split, unbeatable, to now 0-15 in map count in their last 5 matches. I've never seen anything like it. I haven't even said the craziest part about all this. They won the world championship in the last Call of Duty title. I mean, not 6 months ago, they won a world championship, brother. And now, statistically, they are the worst team in the league with 4 superstar players. I don't know what's happening. It's crazy. I truly have never seen anything like it. Maybe they just need to get on land and, like, they'll sync back up.
That's not going to happen. I'm afraid they're going to go to LAN and lose. I completely disagree with that comment though, because Kenny helped OpTic win a championship. Well, Ghostly's a great player, don't get me wrong. Right, my thoughts on the OpTic situation. Well, actually, there's a few more things I want to show you before we do that.
You want to know the craziest part? This team was being taken out to dinner at Catch, bro. This squad. These guys don't even deserve McDonald's, bro.
Dude, what are you saying, bro? What are
This
you
team
talking
is
about,
being
bro?
rewarded with a Catch dinner, playing like this. Tom, I took you out to Catch. Remember when we were in Vegas?
Yeah, and Porter ordered the $200 fucking Wagyu steak.
Yeah,
You remember that shit?
But hey, we put on a good show in Vegas, so y'all deserved it. These guys aren't putting on a good show. These guys are getting pissed on.
And yeah, he makes a completely great point. Like, they're not playing good. They're playing terrible. All of them are playing terrible. I don't care if Dashi has a good series and they get 3-0. They're playing terrible, all of them. And then there's another clip here I wanted to show.
In the first event, you watch VOD and you figure out how the game should be played and you adapt. And the problem with this split for OpTic is they've gone in the opposite direction of everybody else as far as adapting the game. And that's why,
no
like,
bullshit, Ben. Respectfully, I think that's the last thing they should be doing. Bro, they're at a point where they are over analyzing the game so hard. Bro, right
so
now,
you think they should simplify it, is what you're saying?
I mean, bro, I just think you go out and play. I think you just play. I think you go in the scrims and you just fucking play. You don't give a fuck if you win or lose. You just play at this point.
You think they're overthinking it, Ernie? You think they're overthinking it?
100%.
Yeah, that's what I think they're overthinking it too. I think they're in their own head. I think they're in their own
Ernie,
head.
do you think the Falcons are overthinking it as well?
The Falcons just suck dick.
Okay, the Falcons are very different.
Do you think?
You know what's
I love
insane
those
though,
kids.
Zinni?
I
You know
like
what's
them. They're
insane?
good ass kids, but they just suck.
Go ahead, Pat. I know what you're gonna say.
Are saying that, but they got more map wins than OpTic right now.
100%, bro. But they've also OpTics at least won a fucking series.
I don't want to talk to.
If you're a quality player, you get back from the first.
Right, this clip's amazing, to be fair. So yeah, I mean, look, that could just be the case that they're going into games expecting to lose, but it looks like they've got no effort. It looks like they're not trying. It's one of the worst. It is the worst OpTic team in history at the moment. And I do think one of the reasons is because they dropped Hugh. Because they were playing better with Hugh than they were with Pred. They've brought Pred in because obviously they're doing the ring ceremonies at the major. Kenny's playing absolutely terrible. He's statistically one of the worst players in the league. He shouldn't actually be in the league at the moment because he's playing absolutely horrific. Pred is not playing good either. He's had like maybe one good series since he came back, not even that. And that was against the Falcons. I could fucking put up a few kills against them. They're terrible. Yeah, no, in my opinion, and we're going to talk about it on the RoundUp Extra in the 5-minute clip, 5-minute segment, OpTic, in my opinion, have to change after the major. If they get top 12, they have to change. They should be changing now. I didn't want them to change, but they have to. Kenny and Pred need to go. And I know this is going back to how OpTic used to operate. They've got Shotzi, they've got Dashi. Bring in 2 players, brought in Ghosty and Huke. They did alright. Brought in Kenny and Pred, won champs and a major. They're going to have to do it again because, yeah, this is not working. Huke should be back on the team and should actually be given a fair chance and not like dog shit like he was the last 2 times he's been on OpTic. They need Huke in as the SMG with Shotzi because that worked better than Shotzi and Pred does this year. It's a different game. We can't compare last year to this year anymore. You've got players like Snoopy that are playing really good. He was terrible last year. Huke was not very good last year. He's amazing this year. Huke has to be brought into this team, and then they've got to get an AR. If they have to spend to get an AR, so be it. If they want to go and maybe get Sib, Sib's the one I would go for, but obviously I see people saying like get Fellow, get players from Challengers. No, OpTic obviously got Ghosty from Challengers. It was a masterstroke. Look at him now. He plays for a super team. He's part of a super team because he's that good. This is a completely different situation. OpTic have to spend here to ultimately save their season, otherwise they are not making champs. I will say this right now into this camera, if OpTic have the same roster by the end of Major 4, they will not make champs. And if they do, fair play, but they will not make champs. I can't guarantee it. At this moment in time, them, Gentlemates, Falcons are not making champs, and then maybe like Boston or someone, I don't know on that one. The other one's tough, but at this moment in time, they're the 3 worst teams in the game. None of them are making champs, unless they genuinely change everything. Or at least half their squad. Right, that's my rant about OpTic over though. Alright, that's my rant. Look, this is obviously a bit of a longer episode compared to normal, because I had to get the OpTic rant out. I have to. Right, MVP of the week. Before we do the ladder, we have to do MVP of the week. It's between JOEDECEIVES, Scrap, and Hydra. Obviously, I know that JOEDECEIVES played OpTic and Falcons, and I know that obviously Scrap and Hydra played Surge and Surge and Breach. Was it Surge and Breach? I think. Can't actually remember. But I'm going to go with JOEDECEIVES because they obviously got a 2 KD, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And look, OpTic's team on paper is still a very good team. So, yeah, JOEDECEIVES gets MVP. I think that's fair. And now it is obviously time for our rookie... No, we don't actually have a rookie ladder. I've clicked the wrong thing there as well. Apologies. Right, MVP ladder. And you can see, when I get the webcam off, we have got a change. Scrap is now on. He was very close to being on it last week, to be fair. I think this week, Draz hasn't played very well. Yeah, FaZe won, but he hasn't really been playing well. On the side, Scrap's had 2 really good series. So I am going to put Scrap in 3rd. But it is very close between Scrap, Draz. Look, I think in my opinion now, I think everyone in my top 10 is deserving to be in the top 10. Obviously, we've upped it to top 10. So I will go through 10 to 1. So in 10th is Kleenex. Yeah, I've decided to go for Kleenex on my MVP ladder for now. But like the people in like 9th, 10th, they could easily change every week. In 9th is Neptune. Obviously, he's not been in very long, but I think for his performances and what he's done to this Surge team, that's completely a fair place to put him. I've put Hydra in 8th because of the last few weeks. He looks very good, and I think that now he's found his groove, he's going to be unstoppable. His SMG duo Hydra... Nope, he does not have 2 Hydras on the team. Envoy, sorry. I've put Envoy in 7th because I think he's been very good this season for Thieves when Hydra wasn't stepping up as much as he could have. In 6th is Abeezy. Yeah, Abeezy, obviously, very good player. Obviously, mine of 1 MVP. Had a good series this week as well against the Breach. And against whoever else they played. Why can't I remember who FaZe played? Might have been Rocker, I don't even know. Anyway, in 5th is Gwyn. He's still been really good. He was actually another person that could have got MVP this week. In 4th is Draz, and then obviously your top 3 here. Like I said, if we get one more rookie in the league, we're going to do a Rookie of the Year ladder. But obviously, we might have 10 players, but some of them have only played a couple of series. But we will have a Rookie of the Year ladder if we get another rookie after Major 2. But I really like the MVP ladder segment of the roundup. Obviously, we only just brought it in a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's good. It's good for sure. I like it. Right, well, that's going to be the end of episode 35 of the roundup. 35 episodes, by the way. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm really grateful for the support. Obviously, I know the OpTic Winning Champs one nearly at 300 views now. The rest of them average between like, I'd say between like 25 and 40, 25 and 50. So yeah, it's really appreciated everyone that watches these. Look, I love doing them, so that's why I do them. I love it. But thank you very much, everyone that watches this episode of the Roundup. I do hope you appreciate it. Next week's episode, we'll have our Major 2 predictions. Will OpTic win a map in the next 2 series? I think they'll win 1, but they won't win a series. Thanks very much for watching, though. Do like the video, subscribe if you're new as well. And, yeah, comment who you think MVP should have been this week as well. Alright, until next time, bye for now.